thank, before I begin, I want to thank my family at home, and I have a few here. I want to thank my more universal family, my Star family. I really truly believe that ultimately I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of them. And that is what is coming for all of you. I really recognize more fully than ever that each and every one of you, all of you, are going to truly, truly learn the difference between what is that dependent or independent, or how about interdependent, where we're all interacting, all co-creating, not only with each other, but with all that is. Creating a brand new experience so that no one, absolutely no one, experiences what I've had to endure. It was far too harsh. Much too harsh. Yes, yes, yes. You've heard that story, some of you. My family was poisoned, and badly, very badly. And when I woke up from that coma, I discovered two very important things. The doctor that leaned over me first said, "Barbara, can you hear me? Can you understand me?" And I struggled to say yes, but the words were tangled. She said, first of all, she said, "You've been sprayed by some type of neurotoxin, a brain poison. We don't know how to treat you. We don't know where to send you. There is no research in this field." That year was 1984. And when I was sent home, I discovered I had a whole family just like me. And we were extraordinarily damaged. You all need to know that in all these years, and no matter how hard we've worked to change things, there still is no medical protocol in place. You just heard this young man talk a little earlier as to what is happening in the Gulf. I know what's coming. I know what's going on. I know what's happening right now. I know it intimately. I know what is about to be. But there is great truth in also what this gentleman Joyce had to say. We can change all of that. You know, when we talk about chemical injuries and those kinds of things, it sounds kind of, ooh, awful, awful. But there was really a very beautiful lesson in all that. And there was a great deal of teaching in that. And that's really the issue. What did we gain from all of this? Gained a lot. First of all, I discovered I wasn't by myself. I believed if it was happening to me, it was probably happening elsewhere. And I discovered, yes, indeed it is. In larger numbers than you know. Of course, you guys have all heard of the Agent Orange story and all that. Guess what? I know what they lived. Same thing. They just put it under some little disguised way. So you wouldn't listen, you wouldn't hear. Stop closing your ears to what's going on, people. Listen. So then comes the Gulf War. 1991 Gulf War Syndrome. You heard of that? Same thing. Same horrible, horrible set of symptoms. Oh yes. Confusion, disorientation, inability to concentrate, speech disorders, eating disorders, night sweats, tremors, seizures. You pick them. Muscle spasms so violent, pulls your bones out of the sockets, you have to have them reset, teeth fall out, go blind. My hair turned perfectly white within 2 weeks. And there's a couple of you around here know that I can even make this gray and go dark anytime I want now. I've learned these ways. It was a long, long recovery to see children suffer, husbands suffer, and yes, that's true, he did not survive that. I lost my husband in that. I'm sure that we made that agreement long ago. I sure wish I knew what I was in for when I promised to go out on this trip. I learned a lot. I want no repeats, but you know what I'm seeing? And this is the other sad thing I'm seeing. I see many more that are very, very sick, but in just low levels. We're all slowly getting the same thing. And we're willingly buying into that whole lie. You have an opportunity right now to stop that craziness. And you are all appointed little deputies. Go out there and be those wonderful ambassadors and help the other people that are not as enlightened and not has had these opportunities. Go out there and let them know. How are we doing this really? How are we poisoning ourselves? And we are willingly doing it. Look what you put in your shopping cart, people. I've heard a lot of talk about petroleum. I hear a whole bunch about that. Can I stand? Is that okay? Oh, stand up. Take that off. Petroleum, just that word, petroleum, makes you want to stand up. Because y'all going to have to stand up on this one. Petroleum. We think about our cars and we think about heating our houses. I think that's minuscule. I don't want to minimize it. We know about those and we're working on some things. We're getting some creative thoughts about how to address those issues. But what are we doing about hairspray, toothpaste, cleaning supplies, laundry detergents, floor waxes, inks, dyes, perfumes? How about the wall-to-wall carpeting and the paint on the ceiling? How about all the cleaning supplies everywhere? The little spray things you do in the windows, and the little pretty things you do all the little stuff in the kitchen. And how about all those things that we use that are making us very, 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 very sick? And using up and gobbling up a whole lot of petroleum in the process to smell good, look good, soap, shampoo, all that stuff. Every bit of it is toxic. Every single bit of it that we bring into our homes, our lives, on our bodies, to our children is poison. And we very willingly spend a lot of money for that. Stop that now. Years ago, I talked about these very things, and I asked you, and I told you some little things. I'm not asking. I'm begging. I'm begging you. You know, after I was injured in this way, one of the sad things that happens to all those who are injured, including now the 9/11 Ground Zero survivors, when you were hearing those pleas from the Democrat of that district who said, I don't know how to help these people, we can't find help for these people. They're still sick. Same thing. And I've already gotten my first calls coming out of the disc golf BP victims. Same thing. And there'll be more. I'm just me, and I don't have enough telephones. I don't have enough help. The people that come from all over, not only here in this country, but other industrialized nations as well, begging for, Star, how did you do it? How did you do it? Help me, help me. They all want to merge upon my house. They need help.